The business of trucking in the United States is federally regulated. There is an organization called the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, which was created to regulate and bring out rules, create rules for the trucking industry, in part to promote safety, given the dangers associated with operating these large vehicles on the country's highways. So the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration created the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations, which lay out a plethora of strict regulations that apply to everyone involved in trucking. The truckers themselves, the trucking companies, the shippers, they all have to follow a very strict set of rules, and if they don't, that can open them up to civil liability if their violations of these rules led to a collision. So for example, at a base level, the truckers have to have commercial driver's licenses, which makes sense, right? They're operating these very large vehicles that require specialized skill and knowledge to ensure that they can operate them safely. So a base question when you get involved in one of these collisions is, did the trucker have the proper qualifications to be operating that truck? Did they have a commercial driver's license that allowed them to transport the good that they were transporting or transport people? And so you need an attorney to look into that to make sure that the trucker himself or herself had the qualifications to be operating the truck at the time they were involved in the collision. And it's not just the truckers. The regulations pertain to the trucking businesses themselves, or the companies that hire the truckers. These companies have to register with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, and they're very specific registrations as to what they can do. They can't act outside of the scope of their registrations. So you need an attorney to make sure that everyone involved in the trucking enterprise, whether they be the motor carrier, the broker, the shipper, had the proper qualifications to perform whatever act they were performing at the time of the collision. And if they weren't, if they didn't have those proper registrations, that can open them up to liability.